Southeastern Bow Hunter Podcast.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Southeastern Bow Hunter Podcast. I really hope you guys enjoyed last week's episode with TJ. I love to have any excuse possible to be able to talk about my faith and profess it to you guys and, see how many people we can lead to Christ. So really fun episode. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This episode is going to be with Mr. Michael Pitts and my good buddy Thor Nichols. We had been trying to plan and do this episode for like 2 months right now, and it is finally happening. So very excited about that. I hope you guys enjoy it. And look, I'm sure a lot of you guys, when you tuned into last week's episode, were probably expecting, some type of hunting story and just a whole hunting podcast. Look, if you can hear my cat right now, she is freaking out. So I apologize for that. But I'm sure y'all were expecting something a little more, typical of the podcast. But, I've had it. I feel like I've been sort of, what's the word? Not inspired, but kind of moved to talk more openly about my faith and have some episodes be more about that. Because, going into the woods, our faith is a lot of times, especially for me right now, kind of what, drives us to keep on going when it seems like everything's just sort of not really going our way. And that's also with life too. So, I'm starting this episode off like this, and I may start doing this before I get to the partners. But if you guys don't know who Jesus Christ is, please give him a shot. I mean, listen to last week's episode if you haven't. I mean, that we basically go over just a small sliver of what it's like to have faith in Jesus and what he's willing to do for you and how it will change your life. So, praying for all y'all. Hope that whatever you guys are going through, that the Lord brings you through it. And thank you guys for listening to this. So before we get started with Michael and Thor, we got to do the partners. A couple of things that have dropped since the last episode, and some other new stuff I want to talk about. Osseo gear, that is the camo brand that I've been using, and it has been working great. We've had a couple of cold mornings, and my new Wrap X late season stuff is so warm. So when we get in the later months of deer season, it's definitely going to keep me warm, and I'm not going to be shivering like a tree or shaking like a tree in a tree in late season. Next up is Summit stands. So I've got the Dual Threat Pro SD. Probably going to make a change next year, a little bit smaller platform, but as of right now, the climber that I've been using, the Dual Threat Pro, has been awesome. I mean, it's been working great. It's got me in trees that I need to get in, and I've already got a deer out of it a couple of weeks ago. So, it's doing its job. So I cannot complain. Summit makes a great product, and, you guys need to go check them all out. So one other thing before we go on with the list is every single discount code is in the description below, along with the websites to the partners. So if you want to take advantage of those discount codes, click those links, go use them. Next up is going to be the Boutique. Best arrow wraps in the game. Mike can literally make anything that you want. Bergie Bowsmith, awesome bow tech, also a dealer for a lot of the products that we all use. G5 Outdoors, the Mega Meat is still rocking and rolling. I honestly don't think there's a better broadhead on the market. I don't think there's been a better broadhead on the market since the Mega Meat came out. But keep an eye out, because G5 there's some stuff in the works. Next up is Prime Archery. So if you guys are living under a rock, or you just are brand new to the podcast, Prime Archery just dropped their 2026 bow. It is the Prime Divide. Keep wanting to say 4, but it's the Prime Divide. And they have a huge range of options, all from 31-inch axle to axle, 6 or 7-inch brace height to, well, actually, let me just run through the stuff that they've got. So they got the 31, 6 or 7-inch brace height, 33, 6 or 7-inch brace height, 35, 6 or 7-inch brace height, and they go all the way up to a 37 in a 6 or 7-inch brace height. So you guys like me who like to hunt out of, a tree stand, a ground blind, they've got the 31 and the 33. Those will work perfectly for that. For you bigger guys, they've got the 35 and the 37, and the Western hunters, they have, again, all of that covers what you guys need. I'm honestly thinking about probably going with the 7-inch brace height with the speed mods on the Divide that I'm planning on getting, mainly because I still want the speed, but I want the comfort. And my form right now is working fantastically I just feel like with this new bow and the options that they're providing, why not take advantage of it? So head over to Prime Archery right now. You can actually customize your own bow. They have, my personal favorite is the all Osseo camo bow. The all Osseo Osseo camo divide that you can put it on every single size, and that is the riser and the limbs are all going to be Osseo Raptor camo. So super sick. I love that Prime is innovating the way that they are, and I cannot wait to see what they do next year. But for this year, look, go check out that new divide. Go shoot it. I think y'all will be pleasantly surprised. Next up is going to be Dialed Archery. Love my proof that I am running right now. They just dropped a new scope. It's called the Mag 3VA. It is technically you could call it a multi-pin single pin. I know that doesn't make sense, but it's adjustable single pin. So on mine, it's got one single post. It's got 3 different pins. On this new Mag 3VA, you have adjustable pins. So it's still the single pin, like kind of the single post profile, but you've got top pin, middle pin, third pin, and you can adjust those accordingly. So super sick, man. I love what Dialed's doing. They've also got the new Strike sight that is a non-movable sight. It is just the typical 3-pin. Makes it super simple. So Dialed is definitely knocking it out of the park. Let's see, Moultrie Mobile got the new Edge 3. It is out. It is running. They have the new Edge 3 Pro is going to be dropping soon. And my Moultries are working great, man. I did have a couple problems the other day. There was a network outage. Has nothing to do with Moultrie. But other than that, man, I cannot complain. I love those cameras. I love what they're doing. Actually planning on trying to get Mark from Moultrie on the podcast next week. So that is going to be hopefully able to happen. If not, we will see where it goes. But yeah, Moultrie is a great camera company, and I'm very thankful to be working with those guys. Next up is going to be the Bow Hunting League. So the Bow Hunting League has this new thing that I have become a part of that I want you guys to become a part of as well. It's called the State Sponsor Program. So basically what it is if you have any type of outdoor, I don't want to say influence, but outdoor thing that you do, outdoor media, or outdoor business, right? Like a taxidermist, a processor. If you have an Instagram that you post on quite regularly, YouTube channel, podcast, whatever it is, you can sign up, especially in Georgia. If you are in Georgia and you're listening to this and you want to be a state sponsor, tell them that I sent you. Go sign up. It's only $100 a year, and you get a ton of perks with it. And you're also helping out the Bow Hunting League. So, yeah, I'm very thankful to be working with those guys. Really excited to see what they're going to do for all of us next year. Let's see. Boning Archery, running the Alpha Veins. Love them. Super quiet. 1227 Productions. That is my buddy Brock's YouTube channel. Go check that out. Go subscribe. Do the whole deal. Scrape Doctor, love his sense. They've worked great for me this year. And last but not least is Victory Archery, and I'm running the HLRs. I think my total arrow weight's like 450-ish grains, 445, something like that. And they are flying flawlessly. They go straight through deer. There's no problems. Nothing's breaking. It's awesome. So that is all the partners. Like I said in the intro, if you guys don't know who Jesus is, please just take a minute and give him a chance. Okay. But, I'd love to hear every single one of y'all listening be messaging me and telling me that, hey, I gave my life to Christ and Jesus is Lord, Jesus is King. Because eventually every knee shall bow or every knee shall bend and everyone will profess that Jesus is King. I mean, it's going to happen. So, and that is not me saying that. That is in Scripture. So, yeah, look, I've rambled on long enough, trying to keep these intros short for you guys. So let's get started with Michael Pitts and Thor Nichols. So we have some very special people to me. I said it in the intro. And we've got my good buddy Thor Nichols, Outdoors with Thor, been on a million times. And then we've got another return guest. We've been trying to make this happen for months. It's either Michael's busy, Thor's busy, or I'm busy. But we got Michael Pitts back on the podcast. And
what's up?
Dude, I'm telling you, I can already tell this is going to be good. The amount of facial hair in this episode, I feel like a little boy. Like I shouldn't have shaved this. We got Pitts' beautiful stash. Thor's the big red bearded giant over here, and I don't know what you would call it. I got stubble. But yeah, dude, what's going on, boys? We've all gotten something on the ground this year, and I was just telling you, Pitts, about mine being kind of looks like a cow with one little extra thing in the middle.
Nothing wrong with that.
broke. Hey, look, I've said it before on here, but it was 3 years of no buck, and
Uh,
I was sitting in the stand, and I just looked up. I was like, Lord, send me this spike or send me the giant. I don't care, whichever one it is. I'm shooting them. And then I hit the
yeah,
grunt call. Next thing you know, this 2-year-old buck comes running up, and I'm just like, all right, just threw it back
time
and
to
sent it.
time
And
to go.
I'm not gonna lie, I might have cried. You know, I'm man enough to admit it. It is what it is. We're not gonna dive
Hey.
into it, but yeah, you know. No, man, how's y'all's season been so far?
It's been a real good season. I don't have a lot on the ground to prove it, but been having a bunch of good hunts, seeing a bunch of good deer. Our rut's kind of on the tail end right now
Yeah.
down here. Some of them are starting to lock down a little bit, but I killed one in Kentucky, which I mean, he was a good mature deer. He was one that he kind of been in the area, and the guy we hunt with up there at Triple Ridge Outfitters, he was telling us. He said, "I got this one deer. He's consistent. He's not that big, but he's a mature deer, and he's been bullying around everything. Pretty much pushed everything out of the area." I said, "That's the one I want." I said,
Yeah.
"Let's
There you
go
go.
after him. Let's go after him." So we went in there, and it was a perfect pinch point between a creek and a field. So if the deer wanted to stay in cover, he had to cross through that little pinch point. You could shoot it to either side. So it was a one of those deals that just happened. I mean, it happened and happened quick. First night we went in there on him, we were hunting an area that had a lot bigger deer in it, but uh, he was telling me about this one. He was becoming real consistent and all. So I said, shoot, let's go after him. And he was a problem anyhow. He was pushing a bunch of other stuff around. But here in Georgia, like I say, I've had a bunch of great hunts, seen a bunch of good deer, but just hadn't had the right opportunity yet. I've let some go I might regret, but
Yeah.
kind of the way it is.
I mean, I've
But
said it to you before, man. If you guys are having, if you're seeing too many bucks and it's getting annoying, there's a couple guys I know that can help with that. I
that's
just
right.
tell
Come on
Tyler
down.
and Bill, like, look, I got these boys. They said they offered their assistance, and
That's right. That's
I
right.
have no problem.
Exactly. No problem loading up and heading
Yeah,
south.
yeah. I mean, look, man. We're just trying to get the population down. That's all it is, right? That's
Absolutely.
really what we're here to do. By the
Absolutely.
way, I don't know if you heard my cat just now freaking out.
Nope.
She's in heat, and so if you
It's
hear
always a cat or a dog or something over there.
it was yeah, it's dude. I
It's the
have a
dog
zoo.
last.
Yeah, well, that
You
was
have
my.
a zoo.
I basically have a zoo. I have 6 animals that I have to take care of every single day. So
He said the
it
zebra in the
is.
backyard is going crazy. I don't know what's wrong with
Exactly.
it.
Dude. Well, and then we've got deer behind the house. I've got 3 other cats that are living in the neighborhood. I mean, I used to have a cat, no joke, before he passed away, he would come down to the basement door and he'd sit there and he would just
Uh-huh.
meow non-stop for 2
Big.
Uh-huh.
hours. And then I'd open the door and he's just sitting there wagging his tail. And I'm like, bro, you couldn't wait. I was like,
Yeah,
I'm in here. So it's been like this since I started doing this, man. It's ridiculous.
that's right.
Thank God for noise canceling.
Could be worse. Could be worse.
Yeah. But no, dude, that's awesome, man. I mean, I did see you posted that Kentucky buck on Instagram, didn't you?
Yeah, I posted
Yeah,
it on
okay.
Instagram, and I think they just put it out on the YouTube page, Real Tree Road Trip
Ooh,
page.
okay.
So I think it's up. But yeah, it was a fun hunt. I always like going up there to Kentucky.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place. They get to putting the tobacco in the houses and generating that smoke with the sawdust, and you can smell it all over the place. It's always a pretty cool time of the year. Plus the leaves are changing. It's that fall cool air.
Yep.
I always like getting up there. That time of the year.
Yeah, dude. Thor, you were supposed to go to Kentucky like last year or something, weren't you?
Yeah, man, I was. I had a genuine, amazing offer to go hunt a very nice piece of property. I don't remember what area of Kentucky, but unfortunately, things just did not come together. When I was at that old job of mine, working at that other shop, it was getting close to Christmas time, and I was trying to keep up with everything, and because I think we were going to go in. Well, I say close to Christmas time. I mean, we're going late October, but November's around the corner, and then by the time you get through November, before you know it, there's December and Christmas, and
Right. Yeah.
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 the kids and everything. We had to get all that, and so I just got real. I just got to where I wasn't going to have the time to take off the work to go with the fella, and
Yeah.
I genuinely was just disappointed about it because and he told me, he said we can go another time. It's his lease there, but
Right.
he only hunts it like once or twice a year, and
Oh,
he runs cameras and stuff up there, but he kind of hunts a little bit all over the place, and he hunts here in Georgia too. He lives here, so
right.
um, it was unfortunate, but I'm hoping maybe get a chance to go back up there. I think it'll be a good time.
Yeah.
So
Oh, it is. It's
um,
a place to hunt.
he shot a dandy of a buck this year up there. And he always gets a pretty nice buck up there. He says it's a really beautiful place up there. He was sending me pictures and stuff. So
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I've driven through Kentucky a million times, and I've seen plenty of deer up there, and I don't know would I hit public land if I went up there or go with you? I mean, it's one of those deals where like we're supposed to go to Wisconsin next year, and
yeah,
I mean that was just pure luck. Like my dad's
yeah,
got a buddy that owns 100 acres up there that nobody's hunted in forever, and I
Uh-huh.
mean he was telling me the problem is I found it's gonna sound weird, but I found his wife on Facebook because he doesn't have Facebook. I've been wanting to
Yeah.
message her and be like, "Hey, I'm Brian Libby's son. I am coming up there to hunt next year. Do you think Kurt's got any deer photos? Because apparently he's got cameras out there." And it's like I'm trying to get
Right.
an idea, man, because the county record is like 216, I think.
Yeah. Got some big
And
deer.
yeah.
Like,
yeah, and like I'm not saying I'm gonna kill anything like that, right? I'd be happy with 120, but
well, yeah.
it's just one of those deals where it's like you never know because both the biggest, in my opinion, the two biggest typicals that America has produced for the most part have come from Wisconsin. Like we had the Jordan buck, and then we had the King buck.
Uh-huh.
You never know what could be out there, man.
No,
So
you don't.
have you ever hunted Wisconsin before?
I've never have. I've hunted up there kind of somewhat near, but never been into there. Know some people that have and some people that had some land up there. But man, it gets cold up there. Whew.
Oh yeah.
You know where we're gonna be? We're gonna be 30 miles south of Lake Superior. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be chilly. I know it will be.
It gets cold. That's a place I'd want to hunt in September or October. I don't know.
Well, so
I'm
that's
seeing.
what we're trying to figure out is when we're gonna
Yeah.
go. Because
Yeah.
like I don't want to miss Georgia season. Granted, my season this year, dude, it's done a complete 180 on me as far as that. Do you remember that spot I told you about? It's like, oh yeah, I've got
Yeah.
like 8 shooter bucks.
Uh-huh.
It seems like I don't have a single deer on that property anymore. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Dude,
What
it
will
just completely flipped on me.
Yeah.
So
When they shed their velvet, they go into a different mentality. They're liable to leave at that point. And then, of course, the rut, there's no telling where they're going to be.
Yeah.
They'll disappear. Actually, one of my biggest deer, in fact, me and Tyler kind of called him off limits this year. I was going to go after him. I don't know if he's 4.5 or 5.5, but because I just now found him this year. But the cool thing is he's on the property I hunt, and he's going over to Realtree's property too, because the property I hunt joins Realtree's property.
yeah.
And so he had moved over right at the rut. He started moving. And so I get a text from Tyler one night with a picture, and it said, "Do you know this deer?" I said, "Absolutely." I said, "I've been watching him for quite a while now." And he's just kind of during the rut, he migrated a little bit north and got over there. And we kind of came to an agreement. We're going to let him go one more year. He's probably 160-inch deer. But if he is only 4.5, he's got potential to blow up and be a booner. So we kind of decided to let him go another year and see what he does next year. I looked all back through my pictures, and I can't pull a picture up from him last year that makes any sense. So I don't know where he came from, if he was a young deer that blew up so big. I just wasn't paying attention to him last year or what the deal is. But
Yeah,
he's pretty big deer, pretty
Georgia's
special.
weird, man. Like I've been one of the bucks that is still surprisingly sticking around at the church. And when I say there's no deer over there, it's basically so I'm running two different types of cameras. I'm running one cell camera to sort of keep me updated in case they go to it, because they were hitting the feed consistently, and then I had one camera that was messing up on video and it was freaking them out.
Right.
And so I took it out. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was enough for every single buck, basically, to just be like, yeah, I'm done here, and they disappeared. I don't think so, because I don't have videos of every single buck getting spooked. But the weird part is, like, last year over there, this time, I mean, I was having maybe not daylight. I mean, they would daylight every now and then, but it was every single night, like clockwork. There'd be 4 mature bucks in there, and then you know, 3 or 4 young bucks, and then maybe a doe. This year, it's like I have to basically have that one camera and hope I see something, then go to the other SD card camera that I'm running, pull that card, check it, and then I'm seeing deer. But it's like every other day they're just running through. So I don't understand what happened over there. My buddy thinks it's pressure from a neighbor, but I've moved the cameras around that entire property, and I can't find them. I mean, I literally cannot. And it's super small. It's really really small. So I don't know, man.
Plus,
I just
go
ahead.
When they start getting towards the rut, they're going to get territorial, and if you got 4 mature bucks in there, 3 of them are leaving.
Oh yeah, dude, the one that I've got, he was a beautiful. Like, I think I sent you a photo. He was the really wide, almost mule deer looking buck. He broke almost everything. Yeah, and so like, I mean, I talked to my taxidermist, and I was like, listen, man, I normally wouldn't do this. I was like, but if I have photos of this deer before he got all wild and gnarly, could you fix him? And he said, yeah. He's like, it's an extra $50. I'm like, all right, this might be the only time I ask you to do this, but like, he's so cool looking when he's full on, that if I go hunt there again and this deer consistently shows up, I mean, I'll get him fixed, you know?
Yeah. There's a lot of people out there that are good with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I've only got one deer I had a tine rebuilt on, and he had broke that tine off, and I was cool with it there for a little bit, and then I got to looking at him, and I was like, man, he just looks naked on that left side without that big, well, it was actually his 3 that broke. He had his 2 was fine, but his 3 was real big too, and when it broke that off, it just kind of looked funny. Yeah. So I had them fix that, and there's a lot of people out there that are skilled and can rebuild them and make it look like it,
like was never happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. I at first was gonna just let them pass, because I want the deer. Like, every deer I've killed is exactly how they were when I killed them.
Right.
And he does look cool, but because I know what he was,
that's like,
dude. I would have to get him fixed. I mean, people can judge me for that. I don't really care, but it is what it is.
There's a lot of people that do that, believe it or not. There's a lot of people that get them fixed like that.
Yeah, Mitch Rompola did it, and look what happened to him. So maybe if I get this one fixed.
Boy, that's another controversy right there.
God,
I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I'm not.
Don't get that open.
No,
I'm telling that.
Dude,
that's.
I had Cody Idle on here.
Story though, and it's one I don't ever think will be settled.
No. I had Cody Idle on the podcast a few weeks ago, and he basically, now he's said this publicly since then, so I can say it, but he told me before we got started, because I the first time someone comes on here, I'm always like, all right, what can't we talk about, right? Like, what don't you want to touch on? And before he even answered, I was like, because I do want to ask you about the Rompola buck, because the story is that his dad actually held the rack, and he immediately said, there's enough, this is fake, like, this is totally altered, right? And so Cody goes on the Hunter podcast, says that, then he gets bashed for it, then Dick gets bashed for it. And so when I asked him, he was like, yeah, man, I really don't want to talk about that, just because, I've had people come at me, I've had people come at my dad, there's been death threats. There was a guy that
is crazy. to get
Dude,
death
oh,
threats.
listen to
over
this.
a deer.
Yeah, over a deer.
Oh.
Listen to this. It gets even crazier. So he tells me that he gets a handwritten letter. His dad, Dick, got a handwritten letter saying, like, basically saying that the deer is real, right? And that they don't know what they're talking about. Guess
Right.
who signed it?
Rampala.
It was Mitch Rompiola.
Uh-huh.
Or no, I'm sorry. It wasn't Mitch. It was literally the guy signed it as Ron, like Ron Piola, Piola. So Rompola, right?
Right.
And so it's just like, who is going to go to that length? I can't imagine Mitch being a 70, 80-year-old man still doing this.
Exactly.
Like, it's crazy what that deer has turned into. Because it's not even, even if it was real, it's not even the world record, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the probably most talked about and controversial stories to this day, as far as that goes.
I get torn up every single time if I post anything on that buck. It's nothing but people, dude. It's so bad. It's nothing but people being like, "Well, all I see." Like, there was a comment on the last episode I did on it where there was a guy, I guess he was from Michigan or something, and the comment read, "All I see is two wannabes up here trying to get clout," and I'm like,
"Yeah,
dude, I grew up with this deer. I'm not trying to do. I want to know if it's real or not."
Right. Right.
I've met people that say they've held it, and I've met people that and that they held it. They saw the skull cap. There was nothing altered. And then I've met people say that they've seen it and it was clearly fake. So the way I look at it,
right,
I'll never know. Maybe Mitch will come out when he, in his will or something, he'll tell the truth. But I have no idea. I didn't even mean to go down that rabbit hole. So we need to go
it's a good rabbit hole, though. I mean,
yeah.
Gosh, it's one of those that everybody knows about and has their own opinion about and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know enough about really have an opinion because I've never seen anything in person. So,
well, if you ever get bored and you want to just hear me rant on about it for 3 hours, just give me a call and
I'll give
tell
you
you all
something
about it.
Rant on that's a good story. Look up the Prince of Poachers.
Man, that is some interesting stuff.
I'm telling you, I'm not a poacher by any means, but that stuff is pretty impressive what he pulled off and did all those years.
Listen,
there's a 3-hour episode on YouTube about it, and I sat there and started watching it, and I didn't move for over 3 hours watching that whole episode.
Dude, so I reached out to him.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I actually had 30 minutes of him on the podcast. But because he lives in Texas and it was the springtime,
right?
They had tornadoes, and we never. I've tried so many times after that to reschedule, and dude, it never worked out. And eventually, he just stopped replying, and I'm like, okay, like, dude, Charles Beatty, that's his name. I love listening to that dude. Absolutely. I don't condone what he did, but those stories, dude,
I know it. How he pulled it off and how he got away with it for so many years.
Amazing. Because you can't do that now.
No.
There's no way.
So the land is so vast down there when you're talking about, some of these ranches being 500,000 acres.
True.
You could get lost in there and probably, just depending on which. I think, everybody thinks he was on the King Ranch, and during the episode I saw, they said he wasn't on the King Ranch for 2 weeks, and he didn't like it because it was too open, and he was worried about getting caught. And I was trying to think of the name of that ranch he said he stayed on all the time, and I can't think of it off the top of my head.
I should know it. I've listened to that episode like 5 times.
I can't remember off the top of my head which one it was, but everybody talks about he was on the King Ranch, but he states in that episode specifically that he was on there at one time, but he didn't stay long due to the fact it was so open. Golly, I can't think of the name of that ranch. It's bugging.
Come back to us.
Yeah. But it's
now I'm going to listen to that tomorrow.
I know it. I don't condone poaching in any shape, form, or fashion, but that was interesting. Just how he got away with it and how he did everything. And he was even guiding people in there.
Yeah.
I mean, he got
That's
that.
the crazy thing.
Well, and like
he got that obsessed with it.
yeah, it's one of those things that like I kind of I don't condone it, but I kind of understand it because I've looked into the history of like the King Ranch and all those ranches out there and how they got that land, and it's not legal.
Right.
I mean, none of it was legal back then. And
Right.
so when Charles was talking about it, he said he's like, look, they don't own that. They stole it. He's like, so I'm going and I'm just gonna, I'm going to go get what technically would, in his eyes, I guess you could call it would be rightfully any Americans, but
Yeah.
he even has said that like, and because you've heard it, but he doesn't agree with what he did back then. Now,
Oh, right.
but
Right.
I get why he did it. I wouldn't do it, but I get why he did it.
I don't have that. There's no way I would be looking over my shoulder every 2 seconds. It would drive me up the wall,
Yeah.
I'd just be scared to death,
I'd just be worried the whole time.
Yeah.
That's me. I would sit there and worry myself to death.
Like, how am I even gonna get this thing out of here if I did? And then what? I mean,
Yeah.
Well, dude, the
there's
plan,
so many.
like having a getaway car and like having to call someone.
Oh, yeah.
How'd you call someone? They didn't have
Yeah.
cell phones back then. So like,
Mhm.
how did you like? He would tell them, "Hey,
He had that
I'm gonna
guy
be here
that would
for a
honk
week."
the horn.
Yeah,
He would come by and honk the horn or whatever.
They
They asked him what the longest time he stayed in there was, and it was like 28 days straight. He stayed in there one time.
God Almighty!
so crazy.
Crazy.
And nobody knew he was there. That's the even wilder
Oh
part.
no,
Well,
they knew. They
He
just couldn't
talks
catch it.
about
Well, they
getting
couldn't catch.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah, they knew who it was. They just couldn't catch him.
couldn't
Yeah.
catch him. Yeah,
Towards the
So
end,
wild.
they knew who it was. They just couldn't catch him doing it. And he talks about several times he almost got caught. And but it's crazy stories, but it's a good listen. It
Yeah,
is.
he definitely has made me veer off the road a couple times. Just daydreaming of being in the bush, paddling up and seeing 2 or 3 200s run in. Look, so I kind of want to change. I kind of want to segue into what we're dealing with in Georgia right now. Have you been seeing? Because I've personally seen a weird year. I know Thor kind of has too. Have you seen like because y'all feed on the property you hunt, right?
Yeah. We feed here.
Okay.
We use we use 4S, and they got a really good feed out. We feed it year round. So
Okay. So have
we
you seen
protein.
have you seen like a weird shift with them? Because I know our acorn crop this year has been absolutely insane.
Yeah, past 2 years has been.
Dude, and I really I tried hunting the acorns a little bit, and
Right.
it's almost like you can't because at least in this one spot, you literally have no idea if they're gonna be there.
Right.
Yeah.
it's super random because that hardwood bottom I hunted. That hardwood bottom I hunted a couple weeks ago. I had one like yearling doe walk by, but what's crazy is like to the left on the logging road that's to my left, I was kind of set up over. There's 3 fresh rubs and scrape line going down that logging road, but I had one little doe just trickle through there eating acorns and slip by me, and I was like,
Right.
"Where is it? Like, what is going on?" It's just it was just weird because you would think, I mean, I would have seen 3 or 4 does maybe, or
Mhm.
and I had a camera set up in that bottom because I'm running a couple cameras. I hunt in a club in Heard County, Georgia. So,
Yeah.
and we ain't far from the river. So I know you're kind of familiar with some of that area,
Right.
but man, it's been a kind of random year. And I haven't been basing nothing off of cameras because you can't.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll see some stuff. Like I had a buck on camera tonight. Okay. But that don't mean nothing. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
I literally had an encounter with a deer. Was it Saturday? Yeah. This past Saturday that I have never seen on camera, and I didn't even know he was on the property. And unfortunately, I could not get a shot off on him. Yeah, it was stupid the way it worked out, but I got up. I could hear
Another
these
shot of
deer
Miller.
walking to the right of me, and there's a select cut. They've been select cutting all of our pines this year,
Uh-huh.
and that's kind of unfortunate. But I've still been hunting near it because I mean it ain't really boogered the deer too bad. So
Right.
from what I've seen, like they've already gotten used to the equipment and them hunt, and they don't cut on the weekends. So
Right.
we but I can hear these deer walking up the hill to my right on the select cut, but I can't see them.
Right.
And I'm hunting on like a shooting lane, and at the end of it is like a roundabout, as I call it, the roundabout. It opens up in a big circle. And
Uh-huh.
years ago, we used to have a box stand there, but now it's just growed up, and ain't nobody really been cutting it back or nothing. But there's a lane to hunt on right there if you want to.
Yeah.
And I just got up and I was hunting I was rifle hunting, but
Ain't wrong with that.
well, I like, and Eric knows I like bow hunting. I ain't got
He's
nothing against
saying
it.
that.
I got a
He's saying that
Matthews
because I give
lift,
him crap. He's on the
but
team with me and a buddy on the bow hunting league, and I only bow hunt. So every time he's like, "Yeah,
yeah,
I'm going rifle hunting," then he pauses.
they,
Thor, I don't care. Like, go kill something. It'd be
I
cooler
love
if you killed it with a bow, but go kill it with
yeah.
a gun. It's fine.
I'd love to shake the bow, get the bow back out and shake one out because I ain't shot one with a bow in a little while. But
Uh-huh.
this spot I'm hunting, I mean, you really need to be there with a rifle anyway. So, but I
Already
walked
slid it into
around.
100, but whatever. Keep going.
Do what?
What?
Well,
I said that's why you slid it into 100, but I'm kidding. Don't do that.
yeah, get them pins,
We're not
gapped
like
out.
Tim
Yeah.
Gillingham shooting at 130 or Josh Bowmore shooting at 130 in Georgia. That'd
Hey,
be insane.
just crank down on them limbs on that lift and let her eat. She'll be all right.
Let
Hey,
it go.
look, do what Chris B does. Just twist those cables, get it to about 99 pounds, and then just yank
Just,
that thing back
just
and
let
send
it fly.
You'll be
They'll
fine.
never know what come over them.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I eased around backside of where I was sitting, and I had to pee really bad, and I was like, I'm gonna see if I can see these deer walking this edge because it's in a select, it's open. I saw nothing. I mean, I looked around, I was like left, right, looked down the hill, I saw nothing. I said,
uh-huh.
maybe it's a dang squirrel. I don't know, but I could have swore that. I mean, I've been hunting for a while. I know what a deer sounds like.
Right.
Well, I leaned the rifle up against the tree in front of me, and I hear full blown running. And I look to my left, and this doe come by me 2 foot from me, about run me over.
Ooh.
And I was like, "What is going on?" And I picked the rifle back up automatically.
Yeah.
She trots off to my right and stops. And I look to my left, and there's a buck 40
Uh-huh.
yards from me, midway up the hill, and all I can see is his rack and his head. That is
Yeah.
it. And I throw the rifle up on him. I'm like, I need him to make a step for me, like up. I need to
Right.
come up the hill. I said, let me get some vitals. I was like, come on, dude. Like, and just a beautiful 10-pointer. I was like, I've never seen this deer
Yeah.
ever. And if any of my club members listen to this podcast, this is your chance to hear it because I ain't told none of them. But and that deer may be gone. It's a hunting club, man. They may never see this deer again. I don't know. But they
Yeah.
he stood there. He stood there and looked around for her, and he had no idea I was standing there. And I was
Uh-huh.
like, "Come on, take a step." And she started trotting off towards the road, and he just turned and went back down the hill they came from. And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And
Yeah.
I went out, and the wind was good, still in my face. So I went and set up against a little shrub area right there and just overlooked that whole bottom. I was like, maybe he'll come back out. And I sat
Right.
till like 11:30 that day and this was at like 10 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when I say it's been weird, like you can't go off the cameras, that's what I mean. Cause that happened and
Oh.
I didn't even know they were literally, if they'd have walked 60 yards through the wood line and went to that roundabout, there's a camera right there,
Right.
but they don't have to. I mean, I tell people all the time, a camera sees just a fraction of what we see in the woods.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
You can't go by camera at all. You can't. I know a lot of people that hunt the camera, and you're missing out on a lot of good hunts if you do that.
Oh, yeah.
Especially during the rut.
So what you're saying is, Pitts, that's where I'm messing up.
Do what now?
See, that's what you're saying is that I'm messing up on that one spot where I'm not getting nothing on camera.
Oh,
Just go anyway?
no doubt. No, yeah. Yeah, I don't hunt a camera, and you'll notice, especially during the rut, don't hunt a camera.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that during the rut, there's no telling what's going to come in. Deer travel for miles during the so you're liable to see deer from your neighbors' properties. They're liable to see the deer that you've seen. There's literally no telling what could walk in during the rut. And during the rut, they're not worried about, food or whatever as much as far as coming to food where a camera's at or whatnot. Your bucks are not worried about food at all. They'll drop 30, 40 pounds during the rut, because they're not eating. They're not worried about food. So they're not going to come to your, whatever protein, food, corn, whatever you got out for that camera. They're not going to be coming over that. They will periodically, but they're not going to be doing it daily like early season or late season when food is pretty much all that's on their mind.
Yeah.
The rut's so crazy because anything can happen. And I especially don't go by camera during the rut because.
So I've got a quota hunt this weekend on public.
Right.
And the thing I'm really struggling with, and I was hoping you could help me make the decision on this, is I've got probably 5 or 6 different spots that either I've hunted in the past or I've e-scouted or whatever.
Yeah.
I hunted it last week, and historically speaking, I've got plenty of photos. And I know you say you can't go off the cameras on the rut, but public land, I feel like if I at least get a photo of a buck in daylight on public,
right, he's there.
I'm gonna go off that. And it's in the same exact spot that I saw 160-inch 10-point on public a few years ago, same spot. So when I went last week, I took a buddy of mine out there and I hunted a completely new area that Thor has hunted, but I've never personally hunted it. But it was still the same weekend, same time frame of the rut. Called. And I've called deer in there a couple times. The buck I killed this year, I called in. I saw nothing. I barely saw a sign. I was in a spot where there was oak trees and acorns and everything, but nothing. So what I'm wondering is, do you think going in this weekend, because I'm going Friday and Saturday, do you think going in and still doing like rut tactics, calling, rattling, all of that would be beneficial? Or do you think I should go in there and maybe try to play the game of like, yes, look for sign, but then also look for a food source too of how many acorns we have had dropped this year?
Yeah, I'd definitely go in based off signs you're seeing.
Okay.
In that sort of thing. And then, we're kind of towards lockdown phase down here. We're getting towards that phase, to where some of your bigger deer are starting to disappear for a little bit. So you're in that kind of period, but calling can still work. I'd go in there and look for sign and all that kind of stuff, and then maybe rattle a little bit too, or grunt or whatever, because, there's still going to be does in heat.
Yeah.
So, you'll still have a little bit of the rut going on, but I think part of the lockdown's starting to happen, especially around us down here. I don't know what y'all's rut is kind of compared to us, because it changes a little bit in the state, due to where you are. But, ours have been going hard. We almost had kind of an early rut this year. And, we got some colder weather earlier, and I know there's a lot of people that say the weather doesn't affect it and all that kind of stuff. But, we're at 80 degrees down here right now.
Yeah.
So, I think it's just deer movement as a whole. Your deer are going to move more when it's cold. They're like a cow. A cow consumes so much more hay if you got a cold winter. Deer the same way. They're going to consume more food the colder it is, which makes them more visible. But we've had a heat run here the past few days, but, still seeing some deer. But I think it's matched up with that tail end of the rut. We're starting to see a little bit of lockdown right now. So,
yeah,
well,
but
there's
weird
never
out here. Like out here, and Thor, Thor actually, I think you guys kind of have roughly the same time frame. I think he was telling me that his rut, at least on the club, usually starts about now. Starts getting hot and heavy about now. But over, where I'm at, which, you know, an hour east of Atlanta, dude, I was having bucks. I could send you so many videos that I was having at nighttime activity, just bucks chasing, hitting scrapes, destroying scrapes. It was insane back in the last 2 weeks of October and the first week of November. It was absolutely on fire.
Right.
And then they just completely shut down. And I was thinking it was lockdown because I'd get like one buck a night or one mature buck a night. You know, it still had little guys, but yeah, it's just weird, man. Like I personally always hated the rut.
Right.
I
don't like
love to be able to. Yeah, like I like to be able to go in there and be like, okay, this buck's been here 2 days in a row. He should show up again, right?
Oh yeah.
And it's ironic because I called in the buck that I shot, and I haven't done that in years. And actually, it's the first buck I've called in and shot in November. Everything else has always been, you know, call them in, they see me, or something happens and they disappear. I'm just trying to think of the right way to do it because, like, you know, it is going to be warm, and historically speaking, I know there's been deer in this area, but also with the acorn crop that we've had and the slow, like I talked to some guys that were hunting that same piece of public just in a different spot Friday night, and I asked him, I was like, hey, did y'all see anything? And he was telling me that a lot of people throughout that archery hunt were saying that it's just slow because he saw one doe. I saw nothing. And my buddy saw nothing. And we were on acorns. We were on sign, creek bottom. Like we were in a good spot. It's just nothing. So
that's weird.
It's very weird, man.
But it could be, you know, it could be lockdown. You know, they were chasing that hard, you know, that early. They could be just on that lockdown phase to where it's going to be like that.
Yeah.
Good thing is, though, if they've been on it for a while, they're going to pull out of it for long. And when they do, they are hungry.
Yeah.
They're going to be coming to find the food source. So.
Which is what I'm used to doing.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I'm like.
Well, that's a good thing. Yeah.
I just am going to keep feeding. Like, because I never know when it's going to end. And I know basically once we hit December, that's when I'm like, okay, it's pretty much, you know, yes, you have post rut. And I know that there's, you know, there's going to be does and heat. I've seen deer chasing later in the year, but you can't go off of that. As far as I have seen, you can't go off of that over here that late in the year. So
yeah, usually late in the year they'll get back to somewhat of a feed pattern. Typically late season, good time on food plots and all that. They really start hammering food plots late in the year. If you be on it. If you put corn out, it's going to be on it.
Yeah.
They're really trying to get back healthy again and get that protein to build their bodies back up. Because I'm telling you, I've seen some deer I feel sorry for that are coming off lockdown, you know, and they just look like death walking.
Yeah.
I killed a deer years ago that was, I don't understand how he was still walking. I mean, he looked like every step hurt. His tongue was hanging out. And I mean, it was just hanging there. It never went back in. And he was just huffing and puffing. And I mean, he looked like death warmed over. One of the bigger deers that I've killed in Georgia. And I felt bad for him. I was like, I'm sorry I got to shoot you, buddy. I know it looked rough, but
I'm
sorry.
Dude, that's wild. Yeah, I don't know. Georgia's such a weird state because we had deer, you know, transplanted here and brought over here 50, 60, 70 years ago. And like the weirdest thing for me is like you can be in South Georgia, they have a regular rut. First week of November, that's like the peak. You go just across the border 30 miles and you're in Alabama and they don't rut until January.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. So it makes me wonder, like, there's got to be something more to it than the photo period. I think it's like a generalization that we just make that, you know, biologists and stuff. I'm not saying they're wrong because, I mean, I have no college degrees, but I just wonder if there's more to it than just the photo period. Because if that was the case, then the rut would happen just every time, the same year, the same time. And it doesn't seem to happen that way.
Yeah, what I've always heard is it's just a genetic deal between, you know, the deer in Georgia or more out of your Wisconsin area is where they were brought in from. And I can't remember where the deer that are on that Alabama schedule came from, I want to say some people say like some areas of Virginia and all. It's a weird deal because I don't understand that, because I think they're kind of on a Midwest rut pattern up there as well. But they say it's just a genetic deal. And right here where I live on the Chattahoochee River, which separates Georgia from Alabama. So that barrier is there, separating those two genetics.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, literally, I can hunt two different ruts from my house because, it's late January in Alabama and it's first of November, around here for us in Georgia. And you'll see a hybrid rut close to the river to kind of where they crossing that river, even though it's a big river, they're crossing it.
Yeah.
And so you kind of have a hybrid. So if you hunt near the river, it's pretty cool because you'll catch the deer that are coming in Georgia, right there at the 1st of November. And then you're pretty much hunting a rut for the rest of the season because you're running through Georgia's rut and then into Alabama's rut, and then season goes out. So pretty much starting 1st of November, they're deer rutting near that river. Because you're catching both ruts and the hybrid rut, they're hybrid deer in there. So, but once you get a little bit of ways from the river, it falls into the regular rut patterns. Yeah. It's just right there, up close to the river. But yeah, it's weird. And you'll learn it. That's why I love to tell people to get out and travel and hunt different areas.
Oh, yeah.
It's because these deer hunt different in every location. Not only are they a different genetic, but it's just different territory, different terrain, different foods, different. Like in Texas, I mean, there's nothing really for them to eat in South Texas, so they are very reliant off a corn feeder.
Yeah.
And so, you'll get in the stand 30 minutes before the feeder goes off. The feeder goes off like The Walking Dead. They just come out from every direction, and they'll sit there and eat all the feed up in about 30, 45 minutes, and then they just go back to their beds. So you aren't in the stand an hour and a half,
Yeah.
And then the Midwest, you might sit all day long, and that deer right there is – Midwest has got probably the most laid-back deer. They don't jump your string as much. I remember the first time I was hunting in the Midwest, I think I was in Illinois somewhere, and a deer looked up at me, and I know he's looking at me in the tree. And I said, he's about to blow the whole field. Everything's gone. The hunt's ruined. And all of a sudden, he just put his head back down and went to eat. And I was like, this never would have happened in Georgia.
No.
That cleared the whole county. And
we had a conversation this morning about that. I said, these southern deer, I said, I'm telling you right now, I said, I've never hunted the Midwest, but I've watched enough people hunt the Midwest. I know enough people that hunt the Midwest.
Yeah.
I literally had a buddy hunting in Missouri last week and rattled in bucks. I said, I can tell you one time where I've rattled in Georgia and it actually brought a buck by me.
Right.
For me.
Right.
Now, that ain't everybody else. I got guys that say they rattle in a buck every year. I don't, that's fine.
Right.
But it's rare, man, that you see. It's just it's crazy the vast difference between the Midwest deer and these deer in the Southeast, because these deer in the Southeast are skittish.
Oh, dude, I feel like if I sneeze at my house, the deer that I hunt down the road are blowing out. Like it's terrible. But see, what's really weird about that is like I had a couple weeks ago, I was going to let the dogs out before work, and Thor, I told you this story, but
oh yeah,
I go outside to refill their water bowls, and I hear crashing off in the woods because I got a little bit of woods next to the house, not anything to hunt, right, but just a little.
Right.
And I hear crashing, and I knew instantly it was a deer. So I was like, oh, that's cool. So I shine my phone light, and I see this deer. I thought it was a doe off in the corner because that's usually where they hang out. And I was like, oh, well, I hope she moves because my 2-footed German Shepherd will chase you down, and my pit bull will definitely chase you down. So I go downstairs. I open the garage. I let Nikki, the pit bull, out. And she, I swear, has pointer in her because she immediately stops, points, tail is straight up, and her front paw is up, and she is just locked.
Right.
And I see that, and I'm like, oh, crap. So I shined the light. It actually ended up being a buck, a young buck.
Yeah.
It was over in the
Right.
woodline. Yeah. So what do I start doing? I start grunting at him just because
Uh,
I'm all like, and
Yeah.
he just looks at me, doesn't even care. I hear crashing to my left, 5 yards away. Thank God Nikki went ahead and went in the backyard, but 5 yards away, this other young buck comes walking out of the woods. No, not a care in the world. So I start grunting at him, and I'm like, dude, see, Nikki, I can control. Nubs, I can't. He will go. So I grunt at him and grunt at him and grunt at him. And they just don't care. And I just pull out old Trusty, and I was just like, okay. And they just gone. And I'm like, why is it that when I'm hunting, if a deer sees me, they go to Florida, but then when I'm not hunting, they're 5 yards away. I could have literally walked back in my house, grabbed my bow, set up my light, and I could have shot the deer if I wanted to.
Right.
Yes, it's illegal. I wouldn't do that, but it would have been that easy.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't make sense to me, man. I just don't understand. Like, and yeah, it's dark, but still, I just don't get it. But yeah, Georgia deer are jumpy. You're making me nervous though. If our deer pretty much came from Wisconsin, and I'm going to Wisconsin next year, because I'm struggling here. So what's that mean when I go up there?
Yeah. Our deer typically a little bit bigger body and rack size than your, Alabama deer and all over there. Structure wise, they're a little bit bigger, and that's another age old argument is where the deer came from and were imported from. But I'm pretty sure we got like a Wisconsin strand here in Georgia is where the majority of our deer came from. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of people will tell you different things about, the other deer. But, I heard that. I read one article somewhere that was talking about Virginia could be in with like the Alabama deer, which didn't make a lot of sense to me. But, I don't know where. I wasn't around during that time frame, so I've got no clue. All I can go is what I hear. But there's different people with different stories about, where everything came from. But they're definitely different genetics. I mean, the rut alone tells you that it's a different genetical deal. But, it's weird how different the deer are in different places. It's just like Texas. You better aim in the white because they're going to duck into it every time. Yeah. They're kind of like a deer around here as far as being jittery. If you can kill a deer in Georgia, though, you can kill a deer anywhere in the country.
That's promising. That makes me feel a lot better.
It is. There's no doubt the Southeast is the hardest territory on probably white-tailed deer and turkey. And this is another thing I don't understand because with the turkeys, you're dealing with Easterns, mostly everywhere in the Southeast other than Florida. About half of Florida's got your, Osceolas. But the turkeys in Georgia hunt really hard. I mean, they're hard to kill, but you go up into like Tennessee and areas like that, and the birds will work so much better. And I don't understand that because it's all the same genetics, same everything. It's just a territorial deal. But, the turkeys around us, a good friend of ours from Iowa, he hunted there all his life. And he started filming a bunch with Realtree and all that. So he was coming down here and hunting. And he was coming down here for a whole turkey season to film. And he got down here and he was like, man, we're going to run through them and all this. And we had to say, look, you're in Georgia. This isn't Iowa, this
is a lot different.
Oh, man. And he got a full dose after season. He goes, I see what y'all are talking about. I said,
that's so funny.
You can't run through down here. There's time periods where you can when they're absolutely right. But most of the time, the turkeys are going to teach you a lesson around these parts.
Yeah. Dude, so, all right, changing gears again. Before we wrap this up, I got to ask you.
Yeah.
With Thor being a former Hoyt boy.
Hey. I still like that RX-10. That thing is slick.
Well, okay. See, you're jumping ahead now. Pitts, which new Hoyt are you going to be running this year? You getting the AX3 or the RX-10?
I'm going to be shooting the AX3 this year. I hadn't actually gotten mine in. It should be here any day now. So I'm still running my RX-9 right now. but I'm gonna shoot the AX3 this
Why the
year.
switch?
Lots of times, with we'll go back and forth to the aluminum or the carbon,
Yeah.
and it to me the riser doesn't make that much of a difference to me. You're talking about little weight. The only reason I like the carbon better, honestly, is because when you grab it during hunting season, it's a little bit warmer because
It ain't
that
ice cold.
will freeze your hand.
Yeah.
But I always tell Hoyt, I tell him I don't care whatever y'all want me to have, send me. So I know they said they were going to send me the AX3 this year in the 33 model.
Ooh.
And I'm looking forward to it. I always shoot the longer axle models because to me they point and hold better. They're a little more forgiving. And so I like the longer stuff. Even though I'm only a 28-inch draw, I still shoot the longer axle stuff.
Yeah.
And but I'm ready to get mine because I talked with Hoyt a while back, just about everything. And the new technology that's put into these new ones is pretty cool with the tuning abilities and all. Because not only can you tune to the left and right, you can tune up and down, which nobody's got the tuning up and down out there. A lot of people got your left and right, and that's mainly what we've always worked with as far as tuning. But you can actually make up and down adjustments and actually change your center shot through this adjustment system.
So crazy.
So it's very versatile. They also, another thing they did was they brought back, you had the RX-8, which was a really, really smooth draw. And the RX-9 came out. It had a little bit of more harsh draw in it. And they were doing that to get a lot of the speed. But there was a little difference in the draw cycle as far as the smoothness went.
Yeah.
This year, they've got it all together where it is a smooth draw and it is fast.
Oh, yeah. I watched some review videos, man. It's screaming.
Yeah, and I never noticed a bad draw cycle with the 9.
Yeah.
But, a lot of people were telling me it's got a little bit of rollover in the back. And I said, yeah, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
And I couldn't tell that much from the 8 to the 9. But this year they improved the draw to where it's super, super smooth and kept the speed. And then along with the adjustability of, they're doing all the adjustments from the limb pocket versus the cam. So that's better because it keeps your string more in line. You're not shifting the alignment of your string.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's going to end up being probably my favorite bow when I get to spend some time with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't tell you different. Honestly, between the AX3 and the RX10, you're not dealing with that much difference other than the price tag.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that price tag is
yes.
stout.
Yes. I mean,
I get it, but whew.
Yeah. I mean, I like them both, and I can't say anything bad about both of them. I mean, I've shot the aluminums, I've shot the carbons, and the way I look at it's whichever way you want to go because they're the same bow. Your limbs, your cams, everything's the same. Just that riser's different.
Yeah.
It just depends on if you want to spend the extra money or not. It would be hard for me to spend that $500-600 extra dollars, far as just for the carbon, because of the fact that they're both the same rig. But 9 out of 10 they're going to go the carbon route. But,
yeah, I mean, I remember before I made because I don't know if you remember, I used to shoot bear, and I was looking to make a change and really try to work with one of the bigger names, right? Having the podcast get to where it's got and stuff, I figured now's the time. So before I got with Prime, I did shoot every single flagship last year. So I shot the Form, which is what I'm shooting now. Shot the RX-8, RX-9 and AX2, and everything else. The thing that I remember those three bows being the ones that I'm like, dude, this is nasty. This is gnarly. What was wild is I shot the RX-8. I didn't feel like it was that stiff. right? Smooth draw, like everyone was saying.
Right.
I shoot the RX-9,
Uh-huh.
and I still didn't feel like it was anything really. It didn't feel much different to me. Like I drew it back, and I'm like, what are people saying? This is not a stiff, because they warned me. They're like, dude, front
Yeah.
end super stiff. It's gonna drop in the valley. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I get that sucker started at 74
Yeah.
pounds, mind you, which I'm
Right.
strictly about 72 is like my
Right.
max.
Yeah.
And I'm standing there and I just yank it right back because I'm expecting,
Right. Oh,
harshness.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I let it down. I was like, all right, hold on. I just
Yeah.
slowly went back and it dropped in. And I'm like, this isn't. I looked at the guys. I'm like, what are y'all saying? This
Yeah.
is harsh, dude. Go shoot an
Yeah.
obsession or a bear. Then tell me something about harsh.
Yeah. I know a lot of the people were telling me that too. And I did, it was loaded a little heavier at the front end, so it took a little more to get it started, but it wasn't like it went from hard to nothing with that extreme rollover. And the draw of the 9 never bothered me at all. Never. I mean, there was never a time I said, this is a little harsh.
Yeah.
But, Hoyt would even tell me, we admit the 9 was a little harsher. And of course, I told them the same thing. I said, it was preloaded hard right off the bat, but it was never like a huge humper, any of that kind of stuff. So I said, I never noticed a big difference. And, they were telling me, well, the new one is smooth and fast because they put that little, they programmed the cam and it got a little harsher to get that speed.
Yeah.
So now this year let's smooth everything out like the RX-8 and then keep the speed of the RX-9, and they just kind of morphed it together, and that's what they got this year. I'm really looking forward to getting mine because, like I say, it ought to be here any day, and I'm looking forward to getting it and putting some time in with it because there are a lot of drastic changes with it this year as far as the tuning and the draw cycle and all that. So I'm ready to put some time in with it for sure. But
Thor,
if you're asking between AX3 and RX10, you cannot, and I honestly mean this, you cannot go wrong with either one of them.
Yeah.
They're both just super, super good. Like I say, it's the same bow. Really, if you blindfolded people, I don't think they could tell you the difference.
Yeah, because they're getting so light these days. The only way to be able to tell is the feel of the grip, and that's it.
Yeah, and a lot of people like a little bit heavier bow because in the long run, it steadies them out more and slows that oscillation down a little bit. So technically, a little bit more weight can also be a good thing. Now, if you're walking through the mountains every day, elk hunting and mule deer hunting, I get you want to go as light as you can. But for a tree stand hunter and a deer hunter, that little bit extra weight can help you out sometimes. And you see people now, we're running sidebars and all kind of stuff adding extra weight to the bows anyhow. So, and you're not talking about that much weight when you sit there and look at them. You're not talking about enough weight to really, justify anything. Yeah, it's just whatever the carbon's new, it's cool. Well, I say it's new. It's not new for Hoyt. They've been doing it for over a dozen years now. But, that's still, the alpha dog in Hoyt's lineup. So a lot of people go towards that route, but, they're phenomenal. Can't beat them.
Yeah.
So I know I didn't make your decision any easier.
Are you thinking you might end up switching back to the Hoyt family eventually?
So I'm gonna keep that lift because my fiance bought it, and because I put that lift on layaway at Bowhunter's supply store, and then she went and paid it off for me for my birthday this past summer.
Yeah.
So and Father's Day, it was kind of combined. She said, "This is your gift." So, yeah, she's great, and it's a great bow, dude. I love this thing. But before this, the lift, I had a RX4 Carbon Ultra, and dude, that has been one of my hands down favorite bows I've ever shot in my life. Like that thing is smooth, it's quiet, it's light, it's a carbon bow, it's everything I wanted in a bow, and I've had a couple Hoyts, older Hoyts before that. Like I had a Hoyt Katera
Yeah.
some years ago.
Yeah, that was not Watton the Katera. It was the Tricon was the last one that was real heavy.
Yeah, yeah, 'cause there was some
Hoyt,
weight to it.
yeah, I went with Hoyt in 08 or 09 when they
Mhm.
brought out Alpha Max. And I
Yeah,
think Katera was the one after it. Because
yeah,
Hoyt's bows since that Alpha Max had just been home run,
amazing.
man.
Oh yeah,
Well,
Unreal.
Thor, your RX4 was the first Hoyt that I ever shot, and I
dude, I
remember
love
like
that
because I
thing.
was shooting a single cam bear at the time, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were.
Dude, I had no idea what I was getting
He,
into.
he shot that. He shot that RX4. He was like, "Whoa, this is crazy." I was like, "I'm telling you, dude." I was
Yeah.
like, "This is."
Yeah, and there's been a
Um,
lot of technology change since the 4.
and I
You know,
think when
all
I
the
bought the
RX
four,
series,
when
right?
I bought that RX4, it was a year after it had dropped because I waited for them to kick the prices down on the
Right.
new bows.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I tend
Yep.
to do that. Like I'll wait a year because they're gonna
Oh
kill
yeah.
them prices. They
They
will.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know, I love to be the latest and greatest, but you don't have to be anymore
Uh, I
because
mean,
I
all
mean
phenomenal
any
wise.
brand you go with, especially name brand, and you know I'm not nobody sponsors or pays me, so I've shot them all, but
Yeah.
they're all the modern compound bows you can put your hands on today on the market. Man, you can kill a deer with them. I guarantee it.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
they're built well. I mean,
So
all your top tier brands are. I mean, they're building good product.
right,
It's a feel. Whatever feels better
that's yep.
for you
Mm-hmm.
is what you always need to go with, and it's just always. I've always been a Hoyt guy. Just the way they field, hold, and point. They work
Oh
really
yeah,
well. My shooting form. They
yep.
just feel a lot more solid and locked in to me than any other bow company out there.
Oh yeah.
I
Well,
was, I just they've always just built the heck of a product.
I got this lift, and I mean, it's a shooter, man. It's a good bow.
Oh yeah,
I'm
mm-hmm.
stacking, arrows in there, and I mean, um, but like you notice differences from that my RX4 to this,
Right.
but I still notice like other differences that are like good, like pros, that
Yeah.
just because that technology on this bow is different than the technology that was on that RX4.
Right.
So, I mean, regardless of the brand, the technology advances every time. And it
Yeah.
gets a little better every year, regardless. Like you said,
Right.
the prices are what they are. And I mean,
Yep.
but you know what? 90% of or I wouldn't say 90%, but I guarantee 50% of the people that archery hunt, and
Mm-hmm.
especially in like Georgia,
Yeah.
they're gonna, I mean, they're gonna go buy a new bow every year. They
Yeah.
just are.
Right.
Well,
I
and that's
And some people are sponsored or what have you, so or they have a contract and a deal, so they're gonna get their hands on a new bow or pro staff, stuff like that. So I mean you have people are gonna be getting their hands on new bows regardless of what the prices ever be, because I mean that's just how it is. Just like pickup trucks and
yeah.
hunting equipment and hunting clothes and all of
yeah.
that. I mean, yeah, the price goes up, but we all still buy the stuff, man.
Oh,
They just
oh,
Well,
there
and
you
that's
some of us will go broke buying it, but we love to have it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's like
That's why I
it's
wanted to
just
bring it up though, because like the three of us are all shooting different bows. Like I'm shooting Prime,
Yeah.
Michael, you're shooting Hoyt, Thor's
Yeah.
shooting Matthews. And the thing
Uh-huh.
is, like, dude, I could show you guys my first bow that now is my wife's bow, and it was $300.
Uh-huh.
And I know I always push Prime, and that's like my job with them. And I do think like the only reason I went with them was because I know how I get in the stand, and I wanted a bow that would draw smoother that I'm not going to be struggling with. And with the Hoyt,
Right.
and it's not a knock on Hoyt, it's just how I am.
Yeah. Right.
I could have seen that happening. So,
Yeah.
but everybody is different. Every single archer is different. And if you look at what
Yeah.
I've got, which is, I guess you could call it like the first hybrid bow that's come out,
Uh-huh.
it's cool. It's literally like a futuristic looking bow. but you don't need something like that. You could take the $300 blackout intrigue that I bought from Bass Pro that I killed this deer with, mind you, and go kill a deer. Doesn't matter.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
but it's interesting. Like, I can nerd out on this stuff, dude. I can already tell you this off season, I am going to have a lot of episodes nerding out on these bows and stuff, because it's just, I've been asking for about 2 years now, what is going to be the next big change? And it was the tuning stuff. And now I'm asking, okay, everybody's got tuning, right?
Yeah.
Every single person's got their own way of tuning. The next thing I'm thinking, and I'd love to see Hoyt do this, I'd love to see Prime do this, I want to see everybody do this, is what PSE did with the Sicario. 351 foot a second, and every single person that shot it is saying this is not, it doesn't shoot like a speed bow. It feels like, because it's a 5 1/4 inch brace height. That's short.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see like all of these brands take that and be like, okay, how can we do this where you're not getting string slap, where you can take a 340, because what is Hoyt's IBO this year? Isn't it like 338 or 339 or something?
It's right around 340. What they've done in the past is, the past couple of years have been centered around getting your longer axle-to-axle bows faster. Yeah. Because what you used to see between your standard and then your ultras, the standard was going to be about 10 feet a second faster than your ultra models were. And that's just due to the geometry. You just lost speed. So last year, Hoyt put a lot into their Ultra series to pick that speed up. And then, last year, I think their IBO on their Ultra was like 340, and the one on the Standard was only like 341, 342.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they picked up right at 10 feet a second difference on their Ultra from the 8 to the 9. And see, that's why people were feeling a little bit of that harsh draw, was because the programming of the cam was a little different to pick that speed up.
Yeah.
But now with this 10 in the AX3, they've got it all worked out to where they got that smooth draw back of the 8, and they kept the speed up there at 340.
Yeah.
And so a lot of it's just the geometry. Is it a reflexive, deflexive riser? That makes a big difference. Your brace height makes a big difference. Axle to axle can make a big difference. So it's finding that correct, chemistry between everything. And that's what them engineers do. They sit there and play with stuff every day to try to work the problems out to get something to do this or something to do that. And I've never been told this before, never even asked the question, but I believe these bow companies have probably got the technology for the next 5 years planned out.
Oh, yeah.
They're probably just feeding you a little bit every year to, keep you coming back for more. They probably got some pretty wild stuff figured out right now, to be honest. It's just a matter of, we feeding you that little bit to keep you interested in coming back.
Yeah, I just am very excited to, and I guess we can wrap it up on this, because I know I'm feeling myself going down that rabbit hole. But
I'll go down one in a hurry too,
dude. Well, in the off season, we're gonna hop on here again, and I want to go through everything we can, because I've got questions on things they can and can't do. But I guess it just goes to show, man, like when you feel like we're kind of hitting a cap, where it's like, okay, 340 seems to be as fast as we can comfortably go.
Right.
Like, oh, just wait. And then they go, and this is every bow company. Like, even Prime, they, in the past, they've had, bows that will shoot, the IBO is like 336, and then you see the test is like 328. Now, they're 2 foot a second off. Bear is like 5 to maybe 10 foot a second off, when they used to be more than that. Hoyt's like right on it. Matthews is right on it. PSE is right on it. I mean, we're getting to the point where it's becoming so efficient that I really am asking, like, when are we going to see the next big thing? Because all I can see is shorten the brace height, speed up the cam bearings a little bit, and that's it.
Yeah. But and the only thing is, when you shorten that brace height up, you're going to deal with forgiveness issues, and that's where the riser geometry comes into, whether it's going to be a reflexive or deflexive riser. There's so much that goes into it, but the shorter you get with that brace height, you're going to start dealing with it not being quite as forgiving.
Yeah.
But that's also a way they pick up speed is through that. In speed, speed really doesn't concern me much anymore. I do have an area where I want to be, and I'll build my arrow around kind of where I want to be, which I hadn't changed that up in 6-7 years. But I believe you can be too fast in some ways with the arrows because you're going to start getting instability in arrow flight and stuff of that nature when you start really cranking it up. And then it's going to become an arrow issue. If you get too much going on back there, it's going to result into now we're going to have to rework the arrows to be able to put up with what the bow's doing.
Yep.
So I don't know. I've always loved and I keep my setup I want it between 270 and 290.
Yeah.
But I'm losing 20 foot a second off of IBO right off the bat because I'm a 28-inch draw.
Yeah.
So, I'm losing a lot. So I've really got to watch my arrow build a little bit because I do like a heavy arrow, but I don't want my speed to drop too low,
You know the fix for that.
What's that?
Call up Hoyt and say, hey, listen, I've been watching Cam Haynes and Dudley and Rogan. Just give me one of them 90-pounders. They'll do it. I mean, they did it for those boys.
my shoulder's so dang shot that I like that's another thing I preach is being comfortable with the poundage you shoot because I feel a lot of people get into I've got to shoot a 70-pound bow. And today's bows are so efficient, you can shoot whatever you want to, and still be good. I think I heard Ted Nugent was shooting like 48 pounds,
Yeah, he's sub
now.
Yeah, he's sub 50 pounds now.
Yep, and he's killing everything over the world. Today's bows are so efficient, you don't have to be worried about that poundage as much. Now, when I was coming up, we were all shooting 80 pounds.
Yeah.
We were shooting overdraws. We were shooting everything we could. We were shooting too long a draw to get our speed up. But
I'll never forget my PSE Nova with the overdraw and I had one.
We were doing all that, shooting 80 pounds, too long a draw. We were shooting overdraws to shorten our arrow, and we were still only getting 260 feet a second, maybe.
That's insane.
And nowadays, you can do that with a 50-pound bow. So today's bows are so efficient. It's you want to be comfortable because you don't want to get in that stand because everything changes when you're in 30-degree temperatures and been sitting idle for 2 hours.
Well, and that's why
pulling that bow back is a different story.
Yeah, dude, that bear back there. Last year, I almost hurt my shoulder because I went to go draw it back, and I got it about right here, and I just for whatever reason it was so cold, and my shoulder like caved in almost. So I was like, dude, I don't know. Again, that's why I made the switch to Prime. So it's everybody's different.
Yeah, 70s always worked for me, which past few years, Hoyts have been coming in a little hot at around 72. And that is perfect for me. That 72 is just, that's where I need to be. I always tell people, be able to sit in a seated position and be able to pull your bow straight back. And that's where you need to be.
You were in my
ear. If you're aiming at squirrels, trying to pull the bow back, you're too heavy.
When I got that bow set up, I went to the range to actually sight it in and everything.
Good old sky draw.
Well, and I was worried about that. And so I had no problem standing up and drawing it. But then I remember you saying that. And so I sat down and I was like, all right, let's just see what happens. And it just easily went straight back. And I'm like, we're good. And it was hot too. It was like 73 pounds.
Yeah.
So it was wild, man. But look, I don't want to keep you guys too long. I know my dogs are probably starving right now. Oh, great. There's whatever. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for coming on. Pitts, you are always one of my favorite people to get on this podcast. I feel like we could do one every week and it'd be something different and just
I can talk for days.
Oh, so could I. Thor knows. He calls me every morning.
Oh yeah, I talk. Me and Eric talk before work almost every day.
Yep. Yep. But seriously, thank you guys for coming on,
Yeah.
Thor. I'm
Yeah,
glad we
man.
finally were able to, get you in here and get to meet Michael.
Yeah,
Hopefully
man.
this off season we can make the trip down to the farm and actually hang out for a little
Yeah,
bit.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, we need to get that figured out. I know
Yeah.
I was supposed to do it this past summer, but with Tiffany, what we need to do is we need to set this up for before volleyball season starts.
That's right.
Once that starts, I have no free time. So
Yeah.
but yeah, man, I guess everybody go follow Michael Pitts on Instagram. Go follow Thor at Outdoors with Thor.
Appreciate
YouTube,
it.
Realtree Road Trips, all that stuff. If you want to see a funny man with a mustache running from the Mr. Green Jeans, he's got it. But seriously, thank you guys. I was really looking forward to this episode, and it did not disappoint at all.
Cool. That's a good thing.